So I'm a little bit late in getting to this one, ladies and gentlemen, so I do apologise, but welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my latest review of Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, which is a very lengthy title. This game is a little bit different from most games I review in the fact that this is actually a compilation of multiple games. So without any further ado, let's begin. First of all, I'll begin with Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage. Sweet Jesus, that's a mouthful. Which many of you will find to possibly be the major selling point of this collection. And it begins directly after the end of the original Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, as we follow Aqua as she tries to explore and find her way through the Dark Realm, fighting any hardness that appears along her way, while she tries to avoid being overcome by the darkness of the realm. Right from the get-go, as you enter the game, you will immediately notice the visuals, which, needless to say, are absolutely gorgeous, and are an insane step up from anything we've seen from the franchise previously, especially once you start fighting enemies and utilize magic, because, oh, it looks delicious. The gameplay this time around is essentially a return to the original system present in the first two Kingdom Hearts titles, featuring a command menu which you are able to choose to attack, use certain types of items, or select magic in order to utilize in combat. And if you played the original games, everything should be instantly familiar to you. However, not everything here is the same, as this time around the gameplay has been sort of melded together with some of the features that were introduced in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, including the likes of the devastating finisher moves, a screen-clearing shot lock attack, in which case you can lock onto multiple enemies and shoot an absolute onslaught of energy blasts in their vicinity, as well as the ability to change your battle style. All of these abilities basically function pretty much just as they did back in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, utilizing the triangle button whenever you inflict enough damage to enemies in the environment, or in the case of Shot Lock, holding down R1 whenever you have a focus gauge energy, and are a welcome addition to the gameplay that adds a nice extra level of depth. They even added a nice momentum boost for Aqua when she runs in a direction for a set amount of time, making traversing the environment just that little bit faster, which I appreciate. Throughout the course of the game, you'll also come across optional objectives, which you can accomplish in order to gain access to various cosmetic items that you are able to dress Aqua up with. And these don't offer any stat boosts or even appear in any cutscenes, which is slightly disappointing. However, this system is a neat way to increase the replayability of this game slightly, which, to be completely truthful, is much needed because this game is far from perfect and pretty damn short. In fact, this is my biggest issue with this title: the length. I managed to complete this game in a grand total of 2 hours, which makes this by far the shortest Kingdom Hearts title released to date. This is essentially best described as the Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes of the Kingdom Hearts series, if I'm to be perfectly honest. Not only this, but the game does suffer from a somewhat inconsistent frame rate that, while not too terrible, I definitely noticed while playing. Granted, I am playing this on a base PS4, so I am unaware if these issues are present on the PlayStation 4 Pro, but they were definitely noticeable. There isn't all that much of a plot this time around either, which is to be kind of expected, honestly, seeing as it's essentially a demo title. However, you do get to see some neat insight into other entries in the series without me spoiling too much, which is something I definitely do appreciate. The soundtrack, as per usual with this series, is top notch, and up to pretty much the same standard as the rest of the other titles. Ultimately, this is a neat demo title with some very fun gameplay and insanely nice looking graphics. However, I personally think that this is definitely a thin game that has a pretty underwhelming amount of content, and while it left me wanting more by the end of it, I feel that many people may be disappointed by its length and performance issues, but I do think it did its job in hyping up Kingdom Hearts 3 well enough, and it's definitely got me pumped up for the title, I'll be perfectly honest. Moving on, it's time we look at the second entry in this compilation package, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance HD, which is in fact a remaster of the 3DS title with the same name. And this game begins as our protagonists, Sora and Riku, begin an examination to awaken the sleeping keyholes that exist in various worlds that are dubbed Sleeping Worlds, in order to become fully qualified Keyblade Masters. Being a 3DS title, obviously you can expect the visuals to not be all that groundbreaking, and the raw gameplay itself is essentially the same as it was originally, offering the same command deck battle system and flow motion combat that allows you to zip along walls and bounce about like a total loony, which is honestly pretty damn fun to do, with the exception of the touchscreen based controls that have been retranslated to be utilized with a standard controller. As you progress through the game, you'll be able to gain access to various commands that you are able to equip onto a deck, if you will, for use in battle, much in the same way as Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. However, this time around, you do have access to various Pokemon-esque partner characters known as Dream Eaters. As you progress throughout the course of the game, you are able to receive recipes and special items that allow you to create these creatures to assist you in battle, as well as access new ways to unlock special abilities if you take care of them. While I prefer typical partners in the mainline Kingdom Hearts games, these are still a nice addition. They'll also double up as a way to utilize special attacks or temporary super forms depending on which character you play as you swap between Sora and Riku during the course of the journey via the drop gauge. Which, ladies and gentlemen, is a frustrating and honestly unnecessary mechanic that it essentially gives you a time limit on how long you can play as each character. If this drop gauge hits 0, then boom, you switch out the character, which I'll be honest, would only be a minor inconvenience if the game didn't force you to swap characters out mid-battle. It's just frustrating to be fighting a boss, get his health to such a tiny amount, and suddenly, poof! You switch to another character, forcing you to repeat the boss fight right from the beginning again, whenever you eventually switch back. Now granted, you can replenish this gauge throughout the use of an item called a Drop Me Not, but I feel it's just an unnecessary step that not everyone will realise they can do on their first playthrough, and that will cause plenty of frustration. The areas that you visit during the course of this game, I also find, are massive in comparison to worlds entered in previous Kingdom Hearts titles, which allows you to utilise the game's biggest newcoming mechanic, flow motion, to the best of its ability, allowing you to swing on poles, traverse large areas, and even use flashy moves in battle. You also get a neat minigame as you enter each new world where you can actually accomplish certain tasks as you fly down this streamlined corridor avoiding obstacles, which can be pretty fun admittedly, and it does a neat job of giving some variation to the gameplay. This remaster does however make this game much more enjoyable to play in comparison to its 3DS counterpart, simply as a result of the super smooth 60 frames per second, alongside camera controls that are now mapped to the right analog stick, which makes things so much easier to manage and much more fun. And yet again, of course, the soundtrack is fantastic all around. Overall, it's a fine remaster that does iron out some of the wrinkles of its original 3DS release. However, some of the game's biggest issues are still prevalent, which honestly is pretty disappointing to me in particular. But I do believe this is a fine title worth playing in the grand scheme of things for Kingdom Hearts fans. And finally, we now have Kingdom Hearts I don't know how the fuck to pronounce it. Kingdom Hearts Key back cover, which is the outlier of this collection, as it's not even a game. In fact, this is a movie that demonstrates the behind of the scenes of the events that occur in the mobile phone game of the same name, and it primarily serves as a means to show what happened to cause the Keyblade War. That's been mentioned occasionally during the course of the series. And while I find the story behind this somewhat interesting, I do feel it raises a lot of questions that I can only hope will be answered in the upcoming Kingdom Hearts 3. Basically, it's a neat addition to the package, but nothing amazing to write home about. Ultimately, I think this is an absolutely solid experience. However, ladies and gentlemen, it's not a perfect one. Obviously, Kingdom Hearts 0.2 is a very, very short title, which a lot of people may not like, and considering the fact that a lot of the games in this collection require you to have knowledge of other Kingdom Hearts titles, this is one of those games where it's best to know more about the series before you actually jump into it, in my opinion. So if you were to pick this collection up, I think it would probably be best to pick up the HD 1.5 and HD 2.5 collections as well. That way then you can get fully up to date with the entire series, and those collections will be out on the PS4 as well in about a month or so at the time of this recording. So yeah, but with that is it for the review. So thank you all for watching, hope you all enjoyed, and hope it all gives you an idea whether or not to pick the game up. So yeah, thanks for watching, I'll see you after. Bye! I have to say before I go, I do apologise if the audio of my voice sounds a little bit odd. I'm still recovering from cold I've had for the past like 4 weeks now, and my voice isn't all there yet. Like, I can't even do my intro properly anymore. Like, hello! 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 I can't do it. I just cannot do my intro right now because my voice just flat out won't let me. So, yeah, I do apologise if it's obvious. Them's the breaks. I can't help being ill, can I? So, again, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys again. Bye!